Good morning and welcome to Northwest Regional College here in Derry. Well, we are live today at the Intercolleges Media Competition. We've had over 100 entries from 5 different colleges, all hoping to strike gold here today in the areas of animation, photography, ad production, factual and fictional production, and of course the best overall performing college. Handing you over now to your host for the event, BBC Radio Foyle's Stephen McCauley.
Ad production, moving image fiction and moving image faction. There will also be a final award for the best performing college overall. Now we have 3 fantastic judges adjudicating these categories, 2 of whom are with us this morning, but I'd like to just briefly introduce all 3. Mal McCann is a photographer for the Irish News in Belfast. He's been in the business for over 20 years and worked initially as a freelancer for a number of newspapers covering local news and sports stories. And then in 2005, he became the chief photographer at the Daily Ireland before making the move to the Irish News just over 10 years ago. He's won numerous awards, and it's really no surprise to anyone who follows his Instagram feed, as I started doing yesterday, where you'll find a host of jaw-dropping images. It's incredible to have him involved in this competition. Let's hear it from Al. Fionnuala Dean is one of the directors of the Dog Ears Children's Media Company, which was set up in 2010 in Derry. Now, Fionnuala had run an independent publishing company for about 12 years before Dog Ears, so she brought a wealth of experience to the company, which has been borne out in the incredible success of the multi-award-winning children's TV series Puffin Rock, which has been translated into 25 languages and syndicated to TV channels all over the world. Little known fact, I auditioned for the voice of the dad in Puffin Rock. I didn't get it. So if you pick up any tension in the room today, you'll know why. But seriously, Dog Ears and Puffin Rock are at the top of their game in such a hugely competitive market, and it's wonderful to have Fionnuala involved in this competition. Vinnie Cunningham is an award-winning cameraman, producer and director, and he started off as a cameraman in 1989 before setting up the independent production company Northland Broadcast, who work in conjunction with Westway Films to produce Lesser Spotted Ulster on UTV. Then in 1997 he made the move to production and direction with a new company called Open Reel Productions, which started off with an absolutely incredible documentary on the undertones presented by John Peel, and then he made a series of films about aspects of the Troubles, including Battle of the Bogside, Exodus, Operation Motorman, and just in the last month or 2, you might have seen this on TV, Squaddies on the Front Line, which was about the experiences of the British Army in Northern Ireland. Now, unfortunately, Vinnie is unable to be with us this morning, but it's a great honour to have him involved in this adjudication. Now, on top of the awards this morning, we also have a unique opportunity to get an insight into TV and film production from the point of view of the actor and the producer in the shape of Damon Quinn, from famous for his role in Cal in Give My Head Peace. But Damon is also an Oscar-nominated producer, so it'll be interesting to get his take on those 2 different perspectives this morning. He'll be in conversation with BBC producer and Irish Times journalist Freya McClements. So we've got lots to come this morning, but before we begin, I would like to introduce Dr. Danny Laverty, Head of the Department of Science, Technology and Creative Industries, to say a few words.
Thank you, Stephen. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted on behalf of the college and on behalf of our Chief Executive, Leo Murphy, to welcome you to the Northwest. Unfortunately, Leo could not be with us this morning, and he sends us regards and best wishes. And I'd like to thank Samantha, our VP, for finding some time to come here this morning. I listened to a media broadcast this morning, the weather, and 1440 was reported, 14 degrees centigrade in London and 40 millimetres of rain in Northern Ireland, and it was accurate. And I really want to thank you for making your journeys here this morning through the inclement weather, but never mind the weather. Let's forget about the weather. Today's event is a celebration event. It's an inaugural event. It's a celebration of our student work from across all the FE colleges. Not everyone will collect a prize today, but all those who have entered are winners. Students from across the sector have submitted innovative projects of a high standard, demonstrating teamworking, communication, problem solving, good CV material. And certainly one of the things that you will have done is develop your skills in the projects that you've submitted. Skills are critical, and I quote from the DFE Skills and Demand and Northern Ireland Skills Barometer, a research report commissioned by the department to identify future skill needs. Everyone needs skills to succeed in life and work. Skills will help you succeed in your chosen career. That report also identified that more people are needed in level 5 foundation degrees and HLAs in the arts, publishing and media, the creative skills, within the top 5. In Opening Doors, the strategy to transform, NI Screen highlighted that for every £1 invested in creative digital industry, this generates a gross GVA of £3.29. That's a significant return. I would like to thank our team in the Northwest for organising today's event, in particular Suzanne. Where is Suzanne? She's just, well, that typifies Suzanne. The organisation in the background, and all the team, her team as well, because it was her initiative, and for all those, and she must say, there you go. So I really just at this point would like to mention Suzanne and the team. But thanks also to our judges who've been working very diligently, scratching heads and trying to find winners from an abundance of high quality submissions across a range of different categories in animation, photography, ad productions, fiction productions and factual productions. To our special guest, Damon Quinn, pleasure to meet you. I was always a big fan of Cal, and give my headpiece. And certainly I found of great interest a project you're very closely involved in, and I'm sure you'll be chatting about it a wee bit later, The Crush, a short film. Really enjoyed that. Very, very good. So thank you very much for coming. In conclusion, today's event gives us an opportunity to showcase and nurture our students' talents, for it is they who will help shape the future in an exciting, fast-growing industry. Please enjoy today. It's an opportunity to celebrate our students' work, to network and collaborate, and to learn something new. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny. Let's get stuck into the first category. And the first category today is animation. Now, this category saw a range of styles from claymation to rotoscoping, and the themes range from zombies getting up in the morning to the perils of not saving your work on your computer. Let's take a quick look at some of the clips from this category.
Sir, do you mind if I perform a routine stop and search on you?
Yes, not a problem.
There's no turning back. Even while we sleep, you will find you acting on your best behavior.
Right, lads. Today we're going to learn how to survive in the forest.
Hanging out in the streets, running high on the line. If you're lucky, you can meet.
Learn to watch the students grow from these experiences, better interaction with other students, their communication skills improve, their team building skills improve. This all happens through the term, but this all starts off at learning support, and with the help of the classmates and the tutors, the students can go and follow any path they want to follow.
Can you hear my heartbeat? Tired of feeling never enough. I close my eyes and tell myself that my dreams will come true. There'll be no more darkness when you believe in yourself. You are.
I would like to ask Fionnuala Dean to come forward to present the awards for this category. In third place in this category goes to Charlie Doherty. Charlie, you want to come forward? Second place was Cahir Kerrigan, Northwest Regional College for Tree of Life. Is Cahir here?
Well done, James.
And in first place, the judges said this entry is punchy, fast and smart. Clever use of editing and music adds to the overall slick production value inherent in this piece. The stylized characters and use of colour is very graphic and minimal, but creates a sharp effect. The energy and sense of humour jumps out, and the viewer immediately understands that they're in the hands of an animator who knows his craft and is in full control. A really great entry. The winner is James Higgins, Southeast Regional College for Construction Chaos. Is James here?
No, he's not, but I'll take it on his behalf. I'm sure he'll be elated.
We'll just take a few moments to look at the winning entry.
Hanging out in the streets, running high on the line. If you're lucky, you can meet.
So now we move on to the category of photography, and this category attracted the largest number of entries from across all participating colleges. This was an open category to allow for maximum creativity, and the entries did not disappoint. Landscapes, portraits, animals, seascapes and buildings were all captured by skillful lenses, and the judges had a tough time coming to a decision. Let's get a wee glimpse of what they had to look at. So I'd like to ask Mal McCann to come forward to present the awards for this category. Third place in this category for photography goes to PJ Wallace, Belfast Met for Budapest. PJ here? No. Okay. So second placed was Nathan Reid, Southeastern Regional College for the simply titled Photography. And in first place, the judges said, this selection of photographs sits well together and are well exposed and composed. He's carried the same theme throughout, making the most of his natural surroundings, capturing nature in all its glory. The photographer has shown a technical knowledge of photography and has used this well to capture the atmosphere and the dramatic effect of long exposures on landscape photography. And the winner for this is George O'Hagan, Northwest Regional College for astrophotography. Go. Okay, let's move on to the next one, and it's ad production. Now, this proved to be a challenging category, but the entries rose to that challenge. They included pets, coffee, and a good night out. Let's take a look at some of the clips.
The NI100 charging locker is great for public places such as shopping centres, bus stations, airports and more. The bar charger is small, useful and charges up to 4 devices at the one time.
Oh no way, my phone's dead. Just about to hit my Snapchat streak.
Sure, there's a charging station at the bus depot.
Oh no way. Cheers mate.
My name is Michael Rooney and I'm here today to tell you about what we do here at Kipmcgrath Banbridge and Kipmcgrath Craigavon. At Kipmcgrath we believe that every child can be a happy, confident learner. To help your child succeed, we offer an initial free assessment. We then design an individualised learning programme that is designed to cater for your child's needs.
Makers of Barcelona is a co-working space which is thriving as an entrepreneurial hotspot with over 300 makers collaborating.
Makers of Barcelona is not a place, it's a community.
Makers of Barcelona is a place where loads of creative minds can get together in one place.
Makers of Barcelona offers me an open-minded community that embraces the students that we bring and help them experience different opportunities that they might offer them.
you tired of your phone running out of charge? With our newest state-of-the-art charging machines, you can charge your mobile or tablet at any bus station, restaurant, college, or public area.
I went to the NI 100 charging station to charge my phone for free.
No way.
Who said it best? Were you the one? Let's just forget, leave it behind, and carry on. Let's just forget, leave it behind, and carry on.
For ad production, and third place in this category goes to Hannah McGaffin and Neve Burnham, Northwest Regional College for Pets R Us. Second placed was Dion Dawson, Southern Regional College for Lavery's Belfast. Is Dion with us today? Well, first placed in this category, the judges said this was a highly professional piece of work, evocative and succinct, and it was a clear winner. And the winner is Gregory Doherty, Northwest Regional College for Galaxy. You're not Gregory. Now, just some general housekeeping information before we go any further. Anyone with a lunch ticket at the end of the awards, follow Thomas and Sarah. Thomas and Sarah, can you give us a wave? Let us know where you are. So follow Thomas and Sarah, who will take you to the Tower Canteen. And still to come this morning, the awards for Moving Image Fiction, Moving Image Factual, and also the award for Best Overall Performing College. Now we're going to press pause on our awards schedule to get an insight into the world of TV and film production from someone who operates on both sides of the lens. Damon Quinn is a Northern Irish actor, writer and producer, famous as one of the Hole in the Wall gang, and perhaps best known as Cal from Give My Head Peace. But he's also the producer behind the short film The Crush. I had a chance to watch it on Monday morning, and it is amazing. If you haven't seen it, make sure you do. It's absolutely superb. So no surprise at all that it picked up a nomination for Best Live Action Short at the Oscars in 2011. So right now you've got a genuinely unique opportunity to get Damon's perspective on film and TV from the point of view of the actor and the producer. So please welcome Damon Quinn and BBC producer and acclaimed Irish Times journalist Freya McClements.
Equipment sorted first, so we're going to make sure this is all working before we start. Words of wisdom from Damon here. Do I call you Damon or do I call you Cal?
Whichever.
Whatever. Are we okay sound-wise? Yeah, happy enough, yeah. I won't attempt to introduce you again. Stephen's already done a fantastic job. Damon, lovely to have you here, and to get a chance to have a bit of a chat with you about specifically film production, because I know a lot of you here, that's particularly your area of interest and what you're hoping to hear about today. But first of all, I have to get over the Cal thing. It's a very strange experience to be sitting here interviewing somebody that you feel that you know so well from Give My Headpiece. I mean, you've been on our screens for, it must be 20 years more.
Yeah, did you have to say that? 20 years, yes.
Sorry. A couple of years, I think, maybe, you know.
So
you were very small at the time, weren't you?
There's so much young talent out here. I mean, it's kind of 20 years ago, like, probably most of these people weren't around. But you can see from all that stuff, I mean, there's a lot of talent out there. How do we stop them?
Absolutely. This is the thing. You're getting worried now,
yeah, definitely.
aren't you? You know, I mean, again, you know, you watch the wealth of talent here, and we have the fiction categories and the documentary categories still to come. You're also obviously a producer, an Oscar-nominated producer for Crush. Has everybody seen Crush? Yeah. It's a fantastic film. Simple, heartwarming. You know, inspired by cowboy films. I'll not explain what it's about. You tell us what it's about.
Well, it's essentially, I suppose, it's a love story, really. But it's just an endearing wee comedy. You know, it's a story about a kid who has a crush on his teacher. But you know, with that kind of almost sort of, you know, run-of-the-mill sort of story, it sort of becomes something else entirely. And it plays with genres, of course, because you think at the end it's going to be a very tragic denouement, you know, and of course the twist is it's quite funny, and he essentially saves his teacher from what's going to be a very destructive relationship, you know, because obviously the guy she's with isn't really for her, and he sort of shows this to her, you know.
I think the wee boys, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but the wee boy's phrase for him is he's a dickhead, and actually he is, you know. The wee boy's absolutely right.
That's one of the best lines in the whole thing. He's a dickhead because he's a dickhead.
Because he is. So how do you go about putting like something like this together? I mean, take us back to the very beginning, the very start. How do you begin even thinking about something like this?
Well, what happened with that was our cameraman on Give My Headpiece, a guy called Jim Cray, and he kept torturing me. He kept saying, "My brother's written this script, will you read it?" And I kept going, "Yeah, well, I will," you know, because, you know, you get scripts all the time.
You get that all the time?
Yeah, and to be honest, I was putting it off, and finally, just to please him, because he kept asking me, and so I sat down, I thought I better read this, and I read it, and, you know, it goes back to the, you know, anybody's involved in any sort of drama or anything like that, it's the script. It's always the script, because you'll always get good actors. I mean, it sounds derogatory, but there are a lot of good actors out there. So you're never worried about getting the good actors, and you're never worried about that. And of course, realising it is important, getting the right, you know, cinematographer and all of that, and employing the right people. That's your job as a producer, really is to. But it's the script. It's always the script. And when I read the script, I knew it just came off the page. And I rang Jim and I said, "Look, we have to make this. You know, one way or the other, we just have to make this. This is so good, we have to make it." So it was kind of a karma thing. It was like we didn't get any money from any of the, you know, the IFB or Northern Ireland Screen, and there was always a problem with one thing or another. It didn't fit, didn't tick whatever box. So we had to basically go and find the money to make it ourselves. And of course, it was a karma thing. It was the one and only time in my life as a producer that I volunteered to work for nothing, and we got nominated for an Oscar. So I mean, none of us got paid on it. So I mean, it was literally a labour of love with it. But you knew that you had to do justice to that script. And of course, the thing was, the guy who'd written it wanted to direct it, and it was his first time directing. I'd say it was Jim's brother. And he came to me, and, you know, that wasn't a problem. He was going to direct it, but then he said, "I want to cast my son as the lead in it." And I'm going, you know, well, holy Christ, you know, what if the wee lad can't act? You know, what are we going to do? You know, and of course, it just was one of those things that just, I mean, it just happened. When he came in, he was brilliant. I mean, you've seen him in the piece. He was natural, and he'd essentially written the script for his son to play the part, and. It was just one of those things that just came together. And of course, he was very well looked after by, you know, Jim Cray, who's a brilliant DOP. Because I mean, the thing is very well constructed. I mean, he's really in full control of the whole piece. And we had the whole, you know, all the crew were all veteran BBC people who I'd worked with for, you know, for years on Give Me a Headpiece. So it was a joy to do the thing, you know. It was, and it won the Foyle Festival, and the Foyle Festival is a feeder for the Oscars, so it was automatically eligible for the Oscars.
Because this is one of the things I was going to ask you about. Is how do you get from making a film, and you were lucky in a sense because you'd worked in the industry for a long time, and you knew people, and you knew you could get great camera people, you knew you could get a great crew around. If you're somebody who's just starting out and you're thinking of, you know, how do I get to the Oscars? Because let's face it, that's what you should all be aiming for. You know, it is possible.
Oh, it is.
How do you go about getting there? Tell us about the route that gets you to that ceremony.
Well, if you want to be a filmmaker, the best thing to do is to make a short film because it's a great discipline. And it's still, the reason that it's still a category in the Oscars is because it goes back to the old days when cinema was regarded as art. This is back before they made superhero movies and all that sort of stuff, and Star Wars and all of that changed everything. But back in the day, cinema was still regarded as art, and the short film still remains a category in the Oscars because it's regarded as an art form. And you know, you come back to the days of sort of Truffaut and Hitchcock and all of that, when they were, you know, a movie was regarded as a piece of art, and they regarded it was every bit as legitimate as a painting. You know, a movie was the same, and that's kind of changed. It's all got commercialised. But one of the things that sort of remained with the Oscars is that it's still there as a category. And I mean, I'm a huge Laurel and Hardy fan, and they won the short film, best short film, 1932, I think, for The Music Box, which is one of my favourite movies. Some of you have probably seen it, but so it was really thrilling to be nominated in that category.
Absolutely.
But the Foyle Festival, as I say, like any international festival, if you win it, then you're automatically eligible for the Oscars. And it's a way to do it if you want to get into the sort of business. It's a good way to do it because although it does cost money, a short film is not beyond the reach of most people to make. But I mean, it does look, it can look easy, but actually a short film is actually in some ways harder to make than a full-length film because it's a great discipline on the writer because you've got to tell a story in 15 minutes. And that's why some of the great writing geniuses work in ads because then you've got to tell a story in 30 seconds.
And it forces you to be really disciplined,
absolutely,
doesn't it?
Absolutely. And there is an awful lot of bad short films, I mean. But when you see a good short film, I mean, it really does, it comes off the page and you go like this.
Yeah. And one of the things that strikes you about The Crush, and you're talking about it being an art form, you know, every shot is perfectly composed. The lighting, the colour, the composition of those shots, you know, every single little detail has been thought about. And that's again back to it being an unforgiving discipline, isn't it? Because you've only got 15 minutes. You have to make sure that 15 minutes really are perfect. You haven't got 2.5 hours to play with, you know.
No, and you're not going to have CGI and lots of you know, tricks to play with and all of that. It's down to the performances, it's down to the actors, and it's down to, you know, your cinematographer and everything that goes with that, your designers.
Even some of the locations that you use, the handball court in the film, just is, you know, the greys of that and the enclosed space and the way it's so menacing, and you're not sure what's going to happen, and then you think, well, you think that he's been killed and there's sort of something terrible has happened. I mean, how do you go about even finding a place like that? Is it chance? Are you using places nearby because they're cheap? How do you go about that?
Well, he, the writer-director, Michael Cray, was very clear where he wanted to shoot it, and he's one of these guys, he's very precise. You know, he comes from he worked in ads, he was an ad man, creative in ads. So he had sourced all his locations. By the time I got there, he said, I want to do this and I want to do that. The only thing he wanted to do was he wanted to film inside a shopping centre for the scene where they're coming out of the jewellery shop. And that was where, as a producer, I had to say, look, this isn't going to happen because we'd have to light the thing, you know, we'd have to run cables everywhere, we'd have to have lots of health and safety people, and, you know, it just isn't going to be doable in the 3 days you have to do this. So, you know, that was one of the times where you have to go to the guy who has a very clear vision of what he wants and tell him, well, sorry, you can't have it, we're going to have to do it a different way. But most of the time he was pretty sure about what he wanted, and that was like great for me.
Yeah, yeah.
My job was just to make it happen. Because I mean, the first time I met him, we sat and I said, "Do you want some notes on the script?" And he said, "No, I know what I want to do," which was great because then I could say, "Right, well, my job's then just to make sure this happens,
Make it happen.
make it happen as much as he wants it to happen." And there is that kind of thing, and you tend to get it a lot and you get it a lot in the BBC, I'm afraid.
Yeah, no, you
We're-
do.
People regard being a producer as somehow imposing your will or changing something just to show that you can, or because you feel that you're not being given your place, or whatever. But actually, you know, producer, the clues in the title, it's produce it,
Yeah.
make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and you do tend to get that. I mean, a lot of producers on the BBC, they're not really producers; they're managers, and they don't get, because I mean, as you know, with the BBC, you know, if you're making a program, the money's already there.
Yeah, well.
Whereas if
It's a nice position to
for
be
the
in, isn't it?
Yeah, for anybody outside that sort of world, producer also involves finding the money and persuading, you know, the people that you're going to get to do it for a price and all of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Comes with the territory.
So in terms of that, and one of the big issues and the big difficulties in this industry, particularly when you're starting out, is finding the money. I mean, what would your advice be? Would it be just like you did, go out and do it?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I mean, it's you're down to, I mean, there's, I have a very, very small list of people I could ask for money.
Don't we all?
You know, it's different in America. I think what they do is they phone dentists, because dentists are the richest people in America.
Right, so dentists phone
they
there's your hot tip
dentists.
from today, phone an American dentist.
Yeah, but here, I mean, we are very lucky with NI Screen, in that they are very engaged, and they're very engaged they're very interested in bringing in new writing talent and new younger talent and fresh talent into it. And I mean, it is a, you know, I wouldn't write them off. I mean, they're very, very helpful in that regard. You know, IFB are a bit more arty about it, and you know, a bit more kind of but NI Screen are very practical, and it's paid for them, dividends for them, because that's how they ended up with Game of Thrones and all that sort of stuff. Because their approach is whatever works, we'll do it. You know?
Yeah. And in a sense, you're lucky in that way, in that there is the Northern Ireland Film Board in Belfast. You know, they are open to ideas. You know, go and see them, go and talk to them, and you know, we hear a lot about Northern Ireland's film industry. You know, there is a lot of scope there. I want to ask you finally. You have to tell us about the Oscar ceremony, about what it was like being over there. So you win the Foyle Film Festival, as if that isn't, you know, reward enough. Were you over in LA?
Yeah, well, before we went to the Oscars, we went to Tribeca, which was the Robert De Niro one, and it was Robert De Niro and Brooke Shields, and we came second in it.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's just America. Like, if you're not the winner,
nobody cares.
Okay. Yeah, so we got huge praise. Like Bobby De Niro was praising our movie and saying how great it was. Brooke Shields and then the winners get brought to a special party, and you're left with the rest of them, and they just bring this sort of rope across.
And that's the difference.
No, that is true, and off they go. But the Oscars was kind of better because it's hugely democratic. I mean, I thought we'd be told, oh, you know, you just made a short movie, you know, we're talking about big stars here, but you're actually treated the same as everyone else.
Right.
And you get exactly the same time on the red carpet.
Wow.
So you up and down the red carpet. Like, exactly the same as the big stars who've been nominated for the big movies, because they still have this respect for the short film, because they say it's still regarded as an art form.
So were all these people sort of nudging each other and saying, who are they? Who's your man? You know, you're standing on the red carpet, you know, soaking it up.
There's all these beautiful people going up and down the red carpet, and then all these uglies arrive. We're going, us too. Yeah. So I mean, it was what can you say? It's like it's everything that you could have imagined it would be. It's all glitzy and all that sort of stuff, but it is very. It's a good day out. Like, it really
yeah, well, absolutely.
Now we were told that the Oscars were dry, and so apparently this went back to the Peter O'Toole days. You know, he was nominated for a special Oscar and he turned up, and they told him there was no alcohol. He asked for a vodka or whatever it was, and they said, you know, you can. Sorry, Mr. O'Toole, there's no alcohol here. You know, and he says, well then there'll be no O'Toole. Walked out. You know, so
you didn't do that, did you?
No, but this is the story. I mean, we thought there was no alcohol, so we had a bit of a morning session, if you like. So we had like about a sort of a few bottles of champagne, about sort of 11:30ish. And
Very
then the
rock and
limo-
roll, very Oscars.
Limo comes and gets us, and we go to the and we get into the limo, and of course there's a decanter of brandy in the limo. So we polished that off and thought, well, that's us now. We have to be good now, and it's going to be great because the Oscars are dry. But of course we get to the Oscars, and the Oscars are sponsored by Moët, and we get greeted by a tsunami of champagne when we arrive. They weren't dry at all. And the head of Moët in Southern California, for some reason, I had no idea why, just one of these things that always happens, he's a guy from Ross Trevor.
Ah,
so as soon as he gets into the Oscars, he's standing there, he's the head of all of Moët and all of Southern California, and goes, "Oi, on the wall, gang, over here." So that was that. So thank God we didn't win, because I probably would have crawled up to the stage. You know.
I mean, it's a fantastic achievement, an incredible achievement. What has that done for your career?
Nothing.
I was about to say, what has that done for your career, if anything? And I thought, I can't say that.
Nobody gets too big for their britches around this.
Well, that's true.
Everybody's
That's
the
true.
same, you know,
That's
it's that
true.
sort of
That's
thing.
true. That's true.
No, it's done great. I mean, obviously, it's a great thing. I mean, it's one of those things, you know, you're never going to, nobody's ever going to question your producer credentials now, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's, but I mean, in terms of, you know, it's just in terms of the experience. I mean, I definitely intend going back. Michael Craig's written another script.
Oh, great!
Yes, which I'll be filming before the summer.
Fantastic.
It's a good one too.
So one to look out for. Can you give us any hints?
It's a kind of it's an endearing. It's called Ruby.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, it's a kind of a supernatural thing. It's but in a nice way. Yeah.
Okay, supernatural in a nice way. Okay.
Supernatural in a nice way. It's almost like, I suppose you would describe it as an Irish folk story, essentially. Yeah, but it's it starts with a Ruby wedding anniversary, and the husband has bought the wife a very special present for her Ruby wedding anniversary. He's bought them a grave.
Oh, how romantic!
And that's how it starts, but it's very funny.
Lovely. Well, one to look forward to. Damon Quinn, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed to Freya and to Damon. We're going to press on with our awards now, and the next category we're going to take a look at is moving image fiction. Now, this is a very popular category, again, drawing on the skills of storytelling with excellent production values. The entries were as imaginative and varied as they were plentiful, exploring themes of violence, Belfast nightlife, and even cups of tea. Let's take a quick look at the clips.
Tremulous as a hawk, hanging deadly calm. Vacuum of need claps each hunting heart, but tremulously we held as hawk and prey apart.
I wonder what Alex is doing. He's probably texting her boyfriend about how annoying I am. I should just do the world a favour and swerve into oncoming traffic. Okay, I need a drink. Or maybe a few. You're ruining her life and everyone around you. No, that's not true.
What I want, you got, but my heart can handle. But like a flame to burn a candle, can't be the flame.
Why are you sitting there doing nothing when you have like an assignment for literally every single lecture to hand in 2 hours ago? Just go and do it now, okay? Have you seen Colin? Have you seen Colin? Sorry, Michael. Sorry, Michael.
I see him as he turned in that bomb-defending place, remorse fused with terror in his still noble face, his cornered, out-faced stare blinding in the flash. He had gone miles away, for he drank like a fish, nightly, naturally swimming towards the lure of warm lit-up places, the blurred mesh and murmur drifting among glasses in the gregarious smoke.
Tommy, you're gonna have to do it.
I'm not doing it. I'm not.
You have to.
I don't have to do anything.
Listen, it's urgent. The guy we had, he dropped out last minute. And there's no one else at this short notice. You have to do it.
Who says?
What brings you here?
Looking to kill myself.
On yourself? Name, please?
Darren.
Yeah, that's all we need. So, Darren, burial, cremation, or thrown in a ditch? Throwing in ditches.
Thrown in a ditch, then.
You see, the grass is much greener on the other side of the world. What have you done for me lately? What have you done for me now? It's alright.
That's it. I'm done.
control of the situation. I talked to my fellas out there, to my people. Blood will have blood, I told them. I told them to kill you and your pretty wife and your lovely little girl. And now you show up my doorstep and I find out you missed the party. Well, don't worry, Frank. We'll be seeing them soon. In hell!
I think I killed a young boy.
What happened?
So about an hour ago, I was walking down the road on my way home, and I seen this boy drinking a bottle of cider at the bus stop. As I walked past, he started giving off to me about my age, disability. I tried to ignore him, keep on walking, but then he ran at me, grabbed my stick. I yelled at him to stop, but he wouldn't let go, so I swung it at him.
I'd like to ask Damon to come forward and present the award for Moving Image Fiction. And in third place in this category, David Hunter, Northwest Regional College, for Hush Little Baby.
David's not here. He was here this morning and is feeling unwell. I can text down here, that's the second one.
Second placed was Shay Healy, Northwest Regional College, for Beneath. And in first place, the judges said, another excellently produced fiction piece. There was great use of visual and audio effects. We enjoyed this one very much. The winner is Matthew Beggs, Belfast Met, for Journal. Okay, so we'll move on to the next category. And the next category is Moving Image Factual. A difficult category blending storytelling with first-class technical skills, capturing a moment and addressing issues affecting people's everyday lives. The entries in this category covered it all, from homelessness to the environment, young entrepreneurs to the importance of voting. A lot of themes were covered and the final decision was very close. Let's take a look at some of the clips.
Like the rest of my family, all we cared was trying to survive in the hard times.
Much like the rest of my family, all we cared about was
Because of my lack of interest in the events going on at the time, I never took part in many of the riots that were a constant feature of everyday life. Like many others I knew, all I wanted to do was protect my family, as they meant the world to me.
Before starting this news report, I decided I was going to do most of my research online. And then I thought to myself, you know, while a lot of the information that you get online, it can be fake. Then I decided I was going to do my own analysis of particular beaches, particular areas, to find out if what I am reading online and what I'm hearing in the news, is it all actually true?
I'm Louise, I'm the manager of Strand Foyer. We've been providing accommodation and support for young people in the northwest area and across Northern Ireland, Donegal, for 17 years now. We provide self-contained accommodation. We provide support services that are tailored to the individual young people's needs.
Okay, so we're all getting set up and ready, so let's go and have a look at the room. So we've got a brilliant facility here. It's in the student room here at Northwest Regional College. And essentially, where we're going here, there are no rules, so we don't know what's going to happen. We are going to crowdsource an idea from here. We will set up a company, and hopefully we're going to find some people are going to step forward. So everyone's starting to gather. You know, we don't know what's going to happen here, but it's actually brilliant. We've got filmmakers in the room, we have social media people in the room, we've got a web guy in the room, we've got some musicians in the room, we've got tech people, we've got everyone in the room here to help create the right platform for anyone to make the opportunity. So look, we're really looking forward to it. It's going to happen in we got a countdown about 15 minutes or so. So yeah, look forward to seeing how it's getting on.
Plastic waste disposal is a huge problem facing our environment today. Every year, millions of plastic bottles are disposed of incorrectly, and it seems that people have neglected the idea of reducing, reusing and recycling. So when faced with the task of making a social action film, we thought about the environment and what we could do to change people's attitude towards reusing their plastic. But first, we decided to see how much people actually know about plastic and its effects on the environment.
So, do you know how long it takes for a plastic bottle to naturally decompose?
Say it'd be a couple of thousand years.
Hello, I'm the cat. And I'm the cat. And together, we're the Cat and the Cat. And welcome to the first episode of Compare and Contrast.
And this is the show where we get two pieces of media and compare them and contrast them.
And today, we're going to be covering Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
The book was written in 1997 by J.K. Rowling, and the film was released in November of 2001.
This particular entry to the Harry Potter series kicked off everything, and it helped get the franchise where it is today.
Politicians are all the same anyway.
Well, actually, politicians are not all the same. Some are left-wing and some are right-wing. Politicians have been very vocal on student issues, such things as student fees. Across the country, we have got politicians that we can be so proud of, and two iconic politicians who came together to share power for the good of Northern Ireland.
Have you ever wondered what secrets lie in the strange lines and columns in the banks of Lough Foyle, stretching out into the water like the furrows in a freshly ploughed field? Or what on earth is a tractor doing on the beach? Well, wonder no more, because I'm going to let you in the mystery of this growing industry on the shore.
She puts a makeup on, it's not a mask, she just likes it. She'll never go ahead, but she could if she tried it. She can't play guitar, she wants to.
Try not to take it too personally. I don't think they're hurling abuse at me. I know they're not shouting abuse at me. But it's the uniform.
Hi, my name's Jag McDonald and welcome to Sticks and Stones, the documentary film about swearing and profanities. I'm going to try and find out the general consensus on swearing and why it's so frowned upon. Let's start with a bit of background knowledge. Psychology professor Timothy Jay reckons that swearing in general makes up about 0.7% of our day-to-day vocabulary. Now 0.7% doesn't sound like much, but it's about the same as first-person plural pronouns, which includes words like us, ourselves, our, and we.
Robert King. I'm 33 years old, that's the biggest secret, and I'm currently a children's entertainer. So a few years ago I went and done a makeup course, which was like special effects, and for part-time I just started doing face painting at kids' parties, and an opportunity came up with another entertainment company to be their Spider-Man act, and it just started from there really. That was me every weekend since, and I'm now doing it for the past 3 years.
It is very therapeutic. It is a great pastime. To me, you're out in the country, you're out cutting sticks,
You turn round and you come in and you can put in your winter nights making a stick, and you have something that you started with nothing and you've moved on and you have a finished product which is pleasing to the eye and is something that you created yourself.
Declan O'Neill. I work in the AV restaurant and I'm a chef de party. I'm on the starter section and I make soups, salads and some garnish. When I was in 5th year in school, I came in here for my work placement for a week and then just got hooked. As soon as I left school, I went to Workforce Tech, started off as an apprentice. I don't think cooking itself's unpopular. I think it's just people don't want to go into the industry because it's a negative impact from the media. It's hard work and it's stressful and stuff. So I think people are just kind of scared away from it.
The award for Moving Image Factual, and in 3rd place in this category, Thomas McQuillan, Belfast Met, for Friendly Neighbourhood Spider-Man.
Must be off on a mission, is he?
2nd place was Lennon Boyd and Jack Coyle, Northwest Regional College, for The Witness. And in 1st place, the judges said this was a very well-made and interesting documentary and looks like something we'll see on TV soon. It contains some nice photography as well as being very well edited. The winner is Ryan Rafferty, Belfast Met, for Ireland's Lost and Found. So Ryan's not here either. Anyway, the final award of the day is for the Best Performing College. Now, to present that, I'm going to ask Mal McCann to join us again. And the winner is Northwest Regional College. And I would now like to ask the Head of Department of Science and Technology and Creative Industries, Dr. Danny Laverty, to step forward to receive the award from Mal McCann. So that is almost it today, almost. I just want to say a few things here. Can we say a big thank you to all our judges today, Vinny, Mal and Fionnuala. Can you give it up for Vinny, Mal and Fionnuala? A big thank you as well to Damon Quinn and to Freya McClements. And can you... And please, a huge round of applause for all of our winners today. And all that remains is for me to introduce Mickey Mallock, Deputy Head of Department for Science, Technology and Creative Industries, to say a few words.
Thank you, Stephen. You sort of stole my thunder there because I was going to thank everybody. I don't want to overkill it. Well, look, this is just a few words to close off the event and add the appreciation and thanks from everybody at the college for all those who participated and for all those who aren't here today either from the other colleges. So thanks very much. I was going to say Cal there, but Damon actually, I think, well, he captured the essence by saying, commenting on the talent within the room. And I think that's a good accolade for everybody here. So thanks very much for that. So really at this stage, just before we close, I do want to express or pass on thanks to everybody who participated from the college and from the other colleges, to the judges, to Cal, to Stephen for your excellent comparing of the events today, and a special thanks to Suzanne for all the work she did in the background to organise this. Yes. And Tom for the clicking of the mouse. Done. Really, really good. Well done, Tom. Okay. And we look forward to this event rolling out again next year, and we look forward to it being a better success than it is this year. Just final word before we go. There's lunch, I believe, in the.
There's lunch for students who are here. If you haven't already got a ticket, you need to see Thomas. Thomas has your ticket, and he will take you and show you where you're going for lunch. And for our guests, we're actually going downstairs, but we'd like to take you around our media department first. No such thing as a free lunch, and just let you have a look at the fantastic facilities that we have here, and then we're going downstairs for lunch.
Okay, so a final round of applause to everybody who participated. All right.
Well, that is it from this year's Intercolleges Media Competition. Just to say a massive thank you to your host and compere, Stephen McCauley, and of course to Suzanne Rogers, and of course to my colleagues here at the NCTJ 2018. For everyone here at Northwest Regional College, and for myself, Kevin Fury, it's bye for now.